So I saw this amazing statistic this week. It stated that nearly 80% of people in their 20s are looking for a new job. People in their 30s, more than 65% of them are also looking for a career change or a new job as well. And when you get to 40 or older, more than half of those people are still trying to figure out what it is that they want to be when they grow up. In this video today, we're going to take a look at 5 signs it might be time for you to quit your job. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Wesley Knox, and on this channel we take a look at work, career, business, and personal life, and how to balance all those things together. We try to come up with tips and strategies to be able to help you guys make it through the school of hard knocks, and also to be able to live the life that you had expected that you would live. So thanks for stopping by again, and we're going to get right into these 5 signs. Before we do though, I'd like to just to say, I've talked with a lot of people in jobs and careers, and I see this a lot. A lot of people are looking to do something different than what they've found themselves ended up in. More than 75% of people say that they expected themselves to be in a different career than what they are. And looking at that, I know that for me, myself, that's true as well. And so it's really important that we are able to get into those things that we've desired to do. I think that's where your strengths are. That's where the things that you have a passion for are in. And a lot of times, life just catches up with us, and before we realize it, we're kind of stuck. We have bills that have caused us to be able to cause us to have to stay at our current place of employment or the income level that we have. And so I think that if we can change the thinking on that and to be able to find some ways to be able to get out of those jobs per se and get into the things that we really love, we would be much happier and living a more fulfilling life. So the first sign that we're going to look at today is pay. Obviously, pay isn't the most important factor to consider when you're deciding whether or not you should leave your current job, but you should consider it for sure. If you have to come up with a second job to be able to make ends meet throughout the month, or if you have to find another way to make income, you're not going to be able to give your best at what you're currently doing. And also, you're going to find yourself to be extremely tired and not being able to have time to spend with your family or doing the other things that you really enjoy. So keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Studies show that pay isn't the only thing that keeps people at a job, but I do think that we should consider it, especially for places that aren't paying you what other places are paying somebody working in a similar position, or even in your same company. If you find out that other people in your company that are doing the same role that you are or similar work are getting paid exponentially more, making a lot more than you are, then you can use that as a leverage point possibly if you like the company that you're with. Use that as a means to be able to negotiate a higher salary, or if you decide that you need to, find another place of work. It's something that, it bothers me a lot when companies are able to afford to pay their staff, but they choose not to. So keep that in mind when you're looking. Again, it's not the only thing to consider, but it's not just pay as well. It's other benefits. So consider your time off that you get as opposed to other places, the health benefits that you get. But like I said, if you can't focus on your job because you're worried about if you're going to make your monthly bills, if you're thinking about how you can't take care of your family the way that you want to, it'll affect your job performance. And in your personal life, it'll affect your relationships with those that are closest to you. So the next sign that we're going to take a look at is if you found yourself in a career that's on track to nowhere. Do you regularly hear promises of career advancement and promotion, but never get the chance to really prove yourself, to be able to show yourself worthy, and to be able to shine and take those roles on? Well, that's the old carrot dangling trick, right? So it's not an uncommon one to do, and for some reason it seems to me that they especially do that with people, hard workers, people that are competent at their job, and yet they still don't give them those chances to be able to take a leadership role or to move into a new promoted area, make more money. So if you do find yourself in those areas, it's something to consider. Take a look at it. If you hear that regularly and you hear other people hearing that same type of thing, then maybe there's something wrong there. This is a good exercise as well. If you find yourself wanting to advance and get promoted, let's say that you want to move into a manager role in your current job, take a look at somebody that's in that role that you're looking at, and maybe 10 years down the road from where you are. Look at their life, look at their attitudes, look and see where they're at, and see if that's somewhere that you would want to be in 10 years. If you find that those people are unhappy, unsatisfied with their job, they still can't make their bills, obviously there's budgeting issues sometimes with some folks, but If you find that that's not something that you would like to be doing, then maybe that's just a good chance for you to reflect, take a look at your own career path, see what it is that you're really wanting and pursuing, and ask yourself, do I want to go for these promotions? Some places there's just no room for advancement. If you're in a current role, in a current job, current company, that they have no room for advancement for you, and especially for the things that you have training in and towards your talents, then that's another good sign that it may be time for you to either look at a different career path, or maybe even another company that has a different structure, or different ways to be able to advance and to be able to do those things that you really enjoy. It might just be a dead end. They have the term dead end jobs for a reason, right? So the French have a term for it, a cul-de-sac, right? So I don't know if you live on a cul-de-sac, but a cul-de-sac is a dead end. So you can have a cul-de-sac job. You can have a dead end job. Cul-de-sac, the term comes from bottom of the sack. So if you find yourself in the bottom of the sack and nowhere to go but down, no room to advance or anything like that, then it might be time for you to take a look at some other companies or even entirely different career paths. So number 3 on our list of signs that it might be time for you to quit your job is you don't share the company's values. Some people might think of this as a small thing, but for me, it's a super important thing. It's one of the most important things. You don't have to agree with every single policy that the company has or initiative that they roll out, but overall, if you find yourself just really not agreeing with their trajectory and their vision, then you might want to take a look at somewhere else. Not all companies have the same vision, not all companies have the same value, and you really do want to align yourself with somebody that you can agree with and get behind. I can tell you this, if you have to go to your job for 8+ hours a day, 40 hours a week, and you don't agree with their vision and their values, it's going to be very challenging for you as an individual just to be able to get behind that and put in all the effort that you can put in behind it and do your best. I've seen that in the past. I've seen a lot of people that will eventually compromise their values to align with the companies because they feel stuck. And I tell you, that's not a good way to go either. Over time, if you have to do that in and day out, it'll wear on your heart. You're just not going to be able to do your best and be able to get behind it. So I really do think it's important for you to be able to agree with the company's values, get behind them. And like I said, you don't have to agree with every single policy and every single initiative that they put out there. But if you find yourself disagreeing with them more often than you agree with them on important things, you got to decide if that's a line in the sand for you. Is it something that you can live with and compromise on, or is it something that's just, you can't do it? The next sign that we're going to take a look at is that your talents, your training, and your passions aren't being utilized at your current job. This might seem like an unimportant reason for some people, but I'll be honest with you. The longer I've been at a place that I just didn't enjoy it, and I know that I'm not challenged with it, I've come to believe that this is one of the most important things that you should be looking for in your career or job or business, something that you're able to use your talents in, something that you can use your passions towards. There's a lot of studies out there now that are showing that unused talent, unused creativity, those sorts of things, they can turn into resentment. Obviously, you resent your current employer because you don't get to do the things that it is that you really like to do. They can turn into frustration, regret, all those sorts of things, even depression. And then from depression, you can get into lots of physical illnesses. So for me, this is a really important thing. And I know a lot of us find it challenging to find something that we can do to make money, to support our families, and to live a lifestyle that we want by doing something that we love. You think of artists and people that are able to do something it is that they are obviously gifted at. And, I really admire those people. So that's a lot of what this channel is about, is being able to help us find new ways to make an income, find ways to be able to provide for our families, find ways to be able to live a lifestyle that we want to. And, if your current place of employment or your current job, business, whatever it is that you're doing, isn't doing that, I would say that you really should make sure that you can have an outlet for that somewhere else outside of your job. Obviously, you'll have hobbies and things like that, but this is something other than, not just I like to watch movies, or I like to play video games, or I like to do some things. Like being able to be creative in a space is really important, I believe, and so those are some things that if you can do it at your place of employment, it's even better. You get to spend lots of hours a day, lots of hours a week in those roles, and so if you're able to do that, that's really good. But that's a huge sign. If you're finding yourself frustrated, if you can't find it in your job or your work, make sure that you do find a way to be able to express yourself through those things. It's not even about sharing it with others necessarily, but it's really beneficial for you, for your own personal mental health, for your own personal growth and benefit. And those are put into you for a reason. Those things that you like and that you're passionate about, they're very valuable. And so make sure you get an opportunity or a chance to take those and express yourself with those as well. It might even be worth, this is kind of against sign number 1 that we talked about, but not necessarily for everybody. Not everybody has the same signs as to why they might need to quit their job, but if you have to take a pay cut and be able to find something else that you really are passionate about, that you're able to do and enjoy and be able to use your creativity in, it very well may be better for you to find a different job that you can do those things in. Okay, and then our number 5 sign. So I said this was going to be the last sign, but please stick around. There will be a bonus sign at the end that may be time for you to quit your job. But the 5th sign that we're looking at today is that you're consistently bringing home negative energy, negative attitudes, and it's bringing it into your family life and in your home life. So a lot of this can be from frustrations at work. We talked about not being able to express yourself, have creativity, and those sorts of things can also come across into your family life and your home. So for me, I know that at my house is my safe haven. I can be myself at home with my family and those sorts of things, and you don't want to bring in, negative attitudes, negative energy into your household because of your job or whatever it is that you're doing for your career, for your employment, making money. What you don't want to do is you don't want to make those that are closest to you experience the same frustrations and things that you have at work. Don't bring those in. Don't make them take that burden onto themselves and have to be able to carry it as well. If you find yourself more than, every single day coming home and just having to unload because of your day, you're so compressed, you're so stressed out from it, man, I tell you, it's really important that you really consider finding different work. We all need somebody to be able to vent to periodically. Sometimes we have bad days. But if you find yourself having to have those days more than a couple times a month, if you find it every single day, multiple times a week, just you're consistently frustrated with your job, it would be really beneficial for your family life, your personal life. Take a look at that. Don't bring it home. Don't make them have to carry that burden as well. And you shouldn't have to either. Not everywhere is the same. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to come home consistently frustrated all the time and angry and stressed out and just hating your job. You don't have to. There are better things out there and there are better places. So do your family a favor. Do yourself a favor. Do some research. If you have time in the day, look into other companies. There's a lot of job search websites out there. I can put some links in below if you're not familiar with them. Plenty of places for you to be able to go find a better job, a better company, or a totally different career. It may require you having to go back to school or getting some specialized training, but believe me, it'll be worth it, especially those of you that, if you don't have a whole lot of responsibilities and your income is, you're not as tied down to your income, do it now. Do it while you can, because the further along you go in the journey, the more things that you take on and responsibilities, the more difficult it's going to be for you. So take a look at that. It's worth it. Do it now. Do it early. And if you do it and you find out that next place isn't, keep moving. Don't ever dig in and just stick it out. I have a lot of friends that have been in jobs and companies for 20 plus years. And they almost feel like they're too far in, you know, they can't turn back and do something different. And that's a really scary place to be as well. So don't bring home negative energy. If you find yourself doing it a lot, too much, cut out the cause of it is what I would say. Find a way to replace that income and find a different job. All right, guys, and now for the bonus reason. The bonus reason that it might be time for you to quit your job is if you found yourself clicking on this video, watching this video, chances are deep down in you know that there's something not right with your current job, your current career path. And so it might be time for you to look for something different. You know that you need to make a change. And I would encourage you, please take into consideration, talk to those that it would affect, talk to your spouse, those that are dependent on you, and really look at doing something different. Obviously, it'll be uncomfortable for a time. Any kind of change, that's why most people don't change jobs, is it's uncomfortable. But my guess is that your current job, your current situation is also uncomfortable. The discomfort will pass. You got to constantly, I think a lot of times we get in this fear mode where we're afraid of what might happen. That's okay. It's normal to be afraid of those sorts of things. Change and uncertainty, it affects us all the same way. But really deep down, you probably know that something has to change for you. And so look at it. What is your gut telling you? What is it that you feel in your heart that you're supposed to be doing? Something different. If you could answer that question, what would you do if the money wasn't an obstacle, if you didn't have to do it? What is it that you would like to do as a career path, as a way to be able to supply for yourself? Look into it. If find out what obstacles there are from keeping you from doing that, and start pursuing it. I would really encourage you, pursue those things that are in your heart to do, and man, I think it'd just be so much better for us. I really appreciate you stopping by. It's really important that we talk about these things. A lot of times, I'm hoping to be able to bring us more tips and tools to help us to get to those places in our lives that we can enjoy more aspects of our life. We all have things that we would like to be able to be doing. And so I hope to be able to bring some of those things to you through this channel. So thanks so much for stopping by. If you got some value out of it, please subscribe. I'm going to be bringing more videos more consistently as I get the process down. It's new for me. So thanks for being patient with all the things, the quality of it, and all those sorts of things that we are going through. But again, appreciate it. So please leave a comment as well. I'd love to hear, reasons why you've left your jobs in the past. If you are experiencing any of these warning signs, I'd love to hear about it. And, if you do, please be kind to other people that are leaving comments, things like that. This is a community. We don't want to shun everybody. Everybody's got different experiences, and we're here to be able to help everybody have a more enjoyable career, life, be able to spend time doing the things that we love. And thanks again.